and welcome to today's Foundation Pilates class with me, Sue, from Fit Panda Studio in Claremont, Cape Town. So we're going to be using the magic circle in today's class, so you can go ahead and get that ready, or the Pilates ring, and just have it somewhere close by so that we can grab it when we need it. Then, of course, you're going to need your mat and any kind of support that you might need when you're lying down or sitting on the mat, such as a towel or a cushion, or just something that you know that you'll be comfortable when you're lying down. But we're going to start by standing. So just have all of that ready for action, and then come to stand on your mats. Standing with the feet hip width apart and the inner seams of the feet running parallel to one another. And just lengthening up tall through the spine. We're going to actively straighten out the arms next to your body. So I'm straightened through my elbows and wrists, thinking about fingertips reaching towards the floor. And then the chest is just broadening as though you're kind of reaching the edges of your shoulders out to the sides of the room. Then from there, we're going to softly bend into the knees, so like a centimeter of bend in the knees so that your back is nicely protected as we turn the palms of the hands to face forward so they're shining out in front of you. And then keep the arms nice and straight. Imagine that your fingertips are still reaching for the floor and you're dragging them back behind you to open up your chest. As you do that, think about gently gliding your shoulder blades towards each other and lifting your chin slightly. And then we'll bring the arms back forward again, turn palms to face back towards your body and just come back to your neutral spine. But we'll keep that softness in the knees so that we're ready to go again. So turn palms to face forward. Think about sliding those fingertips along the floor, drawing the arms back behind you as you glide your shoulder blades together, and then bring the arms forward in front again. Let's do it one more time. Inhale as you glide the shoulder blades together and pull the arms back to open up your chest and shoulders. Exhale as you bring the arms back next to the body. And then knees can stay slightly bent, and we're going to curl the head forward, looking towards your toes. Keep your legs exactly as they are. Take a breath in, and then just let the spine start to round forward and down towards your mat. So rounding through the upper back and the mid back, maybe the lower back, depending how low you want to go. Just go to a comfortable range of motion for your back. Let your neck feel nice and long, so you'll end up sort of looking towards your own legs. Then we're going to breathe in there. Draw the abdominals in and up, start to roll back up through your spine. Kind of visualize your spine restacking vertebra for vertebra until your head is lifted and you're looking forward. And we're going to repeat the little arm pulls back. So turning the palms to shine forward, nice straight arms, so active arms, are then going to stretch back behind you as you inhale, letting the chest lift, letting the chin lift slightly. And then exhale back to neutral gaze. It's going to look straight out in front of you. Two more. So as you breathe in and you go into that little stretch, I'm lifting the eyes to look towards the top corner of the room. And then as I exhale, I'm looking straight forward again. One more time. Inhale, open the chest, glide the shoulder blades towards each other. And then exhale to come back to your neutral position. You can let your arms relax now, so they're not actively straight anymore. And we're just going to roll the shoulders forward, up and around. Nice big circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, and your last one. And then those arms are going to reach up overhead like you want to touch onto the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale to bring the arms back down by your side, keeping that feeling of broadness through your chest. We're going to curl the head forward. You can feel that stretch through the back of your neck first. Let the knees softly bend before you round your spine again to roll back down towards the mat, going as low as you can go. Feeling that stretch all the way through the back line of the body. Take a breath in. Draw the tummy muscles in, start to roll back up. If you find any discomfort in your lower back while you're doing this, you could put your hands on your thighs to help push you back up again, just using the hands to help guide your spine back up till we're standing tall. And then from here, we're going to grab our ring. So you can grab onto your Pilates ring. You're going to hold onto the handles of the ring and take the ring out in front of your chest. You still want the feet hip width and parallel to one another, so I'm standing in the same position as before. And then think about keeping your shoulders relaxed, but we're going to float the arms up to be in line with your ears or as close to as is possible for you. So if you need to keep the arms slightly in front of your head, that's also fine. Or if you need to let your elbows bend a little bit in order for you to get that range, you can let your elbows bend a little bit. Just think about floating the ring up over your head so it's like a little halo. And then your halo stays over your head, so keep some space between your arms and your ears, but we're going to lean over to the left-hand side of the room. So you're going to go into a little side stretch. Our video is just demonstrating the bend of the elbows that you can have. And we're going to lean over to the side and your halo just travels with you. Then exhale, come through the center, and then we lean over to the other side. So a little side stretch with the arms getting involved. Let's do one more time each way, breathing in as you lean. Exhale as you center. You're welcome to keep those elbows bent, of course, if you need to. And then back to the center. Let's pause in the center here. Your head is going to stay still. I'm still trying to keep space around my ears and my neck. So shoulders coming down, even if that means your arms are a little bit in front of you. And then your arms are going to draw little circles around. So you're going to circle the ring around over your head, like you're tracing your halo. For another 3, 2, and 1. Then reverse the direction of your circle. So same thing, circling around. So we're just warming up the shoulders in that kind of maximum range. And you go for another 3, 2, and 1. And then you can lower your ring all the way back down. Then you will want to face kind of towards your mat for this one. That's why I'm turning around. Once we're facing forward, the feet are staying in 2 tracks, but we're going to step the right foot forward. It doesn't have to be a big step, just a smallish step, so that you can comfortably be standing here, keeping your balance. The right knee, so the leg that's in the front, will stay a little bit bent, but I want the back leg to be straight so that you can push your heel down into the mat. So again, that's why we don't want to take the feet too far apart, because then you'll struggle to get your heel onto the mat. So both of the feet are down against the floor, front knee slightly bent. Then I'm going to hold that ring just in front of my chest and with the elbows elevated and pointing out to the sides of the room. So the ring is kind of framing your chest. And then the legs are going to stay fixed in this position. We're going to take a breath and then exhale, start to twist your spine towards the right-hand side of the room. So we're twisting towards the front leg to start with. Your ring will just travel with you. It stays in front of your chest. Then come back to the center, making sure that you're keeping your chin lifted, eyes looking out in front of you. Let's twist towards the left. So now we go the other way. Inhale through center. Exhale as you twist towards the right. And center, twist towards the left. Let's do one more each way, keeping your balance as you twist and center, and then the other way, twist and coming back through to the center one more time. Then let's stay in the center. Now you're going to lean your body a little bit forward into your front leg. You can keep it bent, but you want all the weight to go into that right leg, so that you're able to lift your left foot off the mat and then bring your left leg in front of you in a little tabletop position and straighten the leg you're standing on so that you end up just balancing on one leg, and we're holding it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're going to step that left foot back where it came from, and then once that foot is down, push that right foot back to join your left one on the mat so that we're back in our normal standing position, and then we do it with the other leg. So now your left leg will be the one to step forward. Same kind of distance that you had on the other side. Left knee is bent, right leg is as straight as possible with the heel touching onto the mat, and your ring is framing your chest. Breathe in and exhale, twist towards the left-hand side of your room first. So twisting towards the leg that's in front. Then come through center, exhale, twist towards the right-hand side of the room. And the ring is just traveling with you as you twist and center and twist. You can do one more each direction. Twist and center and twist. Come back to the center again. Let's pause in the center. And then we're going to lean slightly into that front leg. So the weight goes into your front leg. Your back leg is going to become light enough for you to lift it up and then bring it in front of you in a tabletop position. straighten the leg you're standing on and just hold yourself here like a flamingo on one leg for 5, 4, and breathe. 3, 2, then we come the way that we arrived. So you're going to step your right foot back onto the mat and then step your left foot back onto the mat so that you're back where you started. And then from there, we're going to come to lie down on our back. So this is where you might need some support for your head especially. So if you want to place a cushion or a little towel like I've done, just make sure that you can get your head to rest on something. So as much elevation as you need to make sure your head is comfortable. Maybe you don't need anything. Maybe your head can just rest comfortably on the mat. We're going to start with our knees, both of them bent, and then grab onto your ring again, onto your magic circle. Lift that ring up and pop your right foot onto the inside of the ring so that you can use the ring to stretch out that leg. You're going to try and straighten out, well, actually start with your right knee bent first. So the right knee is bent, the foot is flexed and on the inside of the ring, and I'm holding on with both of my hands on the other side of the ring. Then from there, we'll take a breath and exhale, try and straighten the right knee out as much as you can. It doesn't have to straighten completely. See where you can go. And then bend the knee again. Inhale as it bends. Exhale as you straighten that knee so the foot will point up towards the ceiling. Let's go for 2 more. Bend and straighten. One more time. Bending the knee. Straightening it out. Then we want to try to keep that knee as straight as you can get it to be and flex slightly through your ankle. So you want an active ankle. You want to think about your heel pushing towards the ceiling slightly, and then we're going to keep the leg straight and we're going to use our arms to pulse the leg towards you. So you're just going to deepen that stretch with a little pull from the arms. We're going to pull it in for 5, and then 4, and 3, keeping the knee as straight as possible. Last 2. And then on your last one, I want you to draw the leg and then just hold it in your deepest point of the stretch and just breathe while you hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you can take your right foot out of the ring, pop it on the mat, and bring your left foot into the ring so that we can do it all on the other leg. And it might be different with a different leg, so explore the range that you have with your left leg, starting with the knee bent as you inhale. And then exhale, we're going to try and straighten out the knee as much as possible. You do want to keep your bum on the mat though. I'm not lifting my hips up or pushing my foot into the floor. Focus just on the leg that's in the air. Inhale as you bend. Exhale as we straighten. Let's go for 2 more. Bend and straighten. And one more time. And straighten, getting that leg as straight as you can. And then think a little flex through the ankle as we use those arms to pulse the leg in towards your nose for 5 and 4. It's a nice deep stretch. And 3 and 2. And then hold it on your last one. Just keep it at your maximum point of stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you can take your foot out of that ring. Then we're going to be threading both of our feet through the ring. So you want to just lift your feet up, pop them through the ring so that you have the ring on the outside of your thighs when you put your feet back down on the mat. So I've got the handles of the ring kind of midway down my thigh so that I can hold the ring in place with my thighs. You can adjust it if it's not in a comfortable spot. It could be slightly higher or slightly lower than that, as long as it's staying in place. And then we'll stay down on our mats here. We're going to flip the palms to face up and take the arms just off the edges of the mat. So in a low V position to get that openness through your chest and collarbones, your head just resting on something so your neck is comfortable. And find a neutral position to your spine to start with. So a little bit of curve is underneath the lower back. The feet are still hip width and parallel even though we have the ring in place. And then we're ready for a pelvic curl. So you're going to inhale to prepare. As you exhale, start to tilt the pelvis in underneath you. So feel your lower back press towards the mat. Then we're going to tilt to the point that the tailbone starts to lift and you're going to peel up through your lower back and through your mid back, but keep most of your rib cage grounded against the mat. Just a little bit of rib cage starting to lift so that we're not putting any pressure on your neck. The collarbones and chest are staying nice and open. The toes are still pressing down into the mat. Breathe in once you've reached your highest point. Exhale, we're going to melt back down. You're going to explore your spine on the way down, stretching it out into the mat, landing the pelvis coming back to neutral. And let's repeat. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, tuck the tail in, so use your abdominals, engage your core, then lift the pelvis and peel your way up. If you do find that as you come up, it starts to put pressure into your neck, it might mean that you've got too much support under the back of your head and you actually need to lower your support a little bit. Then once you've reached your bridge, remember we're gripping the feet into the mat, and then I want you to imagine that you're trying to pull your feet towards your body to activate your hamstrings. Breathe in, and then we're going to melt back down again. One vertebra at a time, as though you could create space between each of the vertebrae of your spine. Land your pelvis, soften back to neutral. Check in with those shoulders. They're still nice and broad and not creeping up into the ears before we do our last one. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, start to tuck the tailbone in. Peel up through the spine. Let's come back into your bridge. However high you want to go, that's comfortable for your neck. Keep your tailbone tucked in though. Really squeeze your glutes to keep the height of your pelvis, because now our hips are going to stay there. The hips don't move at all, but you're going to push outwards into the ring, like you're trying to stretch the ring with your legs, and then release that pressure on the ring. So you just come back to where you started. Press out into the ring and release. Keep the hips nice and high. Press out and release. Let's go for 4 more. Press out and release. Equal pressure through both of your legs. Make sure they're working equally. And then 2 more. Press out and in. And 1 more time. Press out into that ring. Come back to just holding the ring in place again. Take a breath in. And then let's roll back down through your spine. Still articulating the spine as we come down, till your pelvis has landed down on the floor. You soften back into a neutral spine, and then we'll sweep the arms around to interlace your fingers and slide those fingers in behind the back of your head. So we're resting the head into the hands now, fingers strongly interlaced with your elbows slightly lifted away from the mat so that you can just see your elbows sticking out in the corners of your vision. I'm still in my neutral spine while I'm here. The hands are just there to support your neck. Let's take a deep breath in, prepare, and then exhale, start to curl your head and your shoulders up off of the mat, curling over the rib cage to come up and look towards the ring, but without pulling through the arms. Your arms are there to help out your neck. Your abs are the thing that are lifting you. Take a breath while you're looking at the ring, and then exhale, slowly lengthen back down. Articulate your spine back into the mat. You find neutral again. Make sure you're not squeezing into your glutes or activating your legs too much. Your legs are just held in position. Breathe in. Exhale to curl back up. We're going to do 3 more. So we're curling up and over the rib cage. Look at the ring as you breathe in. And then lengthen back down again from under the base of the rib cage until your head is resting again. Inhale at the bottom. Use your inhale to expand your ribs. Use your exhale to curl you up and over your ribs. Try and flatten your tummy muscles as you inhale. And then we'll exhale to lengthen back down. Last one coming up. Breathe in. Exhale, let's curl back up into your chest lift. Once you're looking at your knees, this time we're going to stay here so that you can sweep your arms forward to grab onto the ring. You'll have to lift your feet gently off the mat to take the ring off your legs. Then place your feet back on the mat. Now you're holding the ring in your hands, and slowly go back down, shoulders and head to the mat, so that you can stay holding the ring in your hands with your arms facing up towards the ceiling. So the ring is kind of framing your chest. Your elbows will just be slightly bent, and they're bending outwards towards the side of the room like you were hugging a big tree. And you're going to have shoulder blades broad in the mat. Your head gets to stay down on your support now. Stabilize your spine first. So imagine that your waist is kind of narrowing and vacuum packing into place before you let your left leg become light, and we're going to float our left leg up into a tabletop position. So a 90-degree bend of that knee, so the knee's over the hip, pointing through your left ankle, and then as you do a toe tap, so we're going to inhale, hinge the left hip, tap your toe on the mat, but as that happens, take your arms back behind you to tap the ring on the floor behind you at the same time, and then lift them both back up to your starting position. Try to keep everything else fixed. So the position of your rib cage, your spine, and your other leg, your right leg, doesn't change. It's just the hinge from the left hip and then from your shoulders to take everything down, to tap the mat. Exhale, lift. Let's go for 4 more. Breathing in, they move away from each other. Exhale, hinge back up to face the ceiling. And 3 more. And lift. Keep that stability coming from your core. 2 more. And lift. And 1 more time. Tap. And lift and hold. We're going to keep it here with your left leg in tabletop and your arms facing the ceiling. Now there should be a little bit of space under your lower back, and imagine that there was a little ladybird on the mat underneath your lower back. Try not to squash the ladybird, but stabilize your spine in that place. Before you let your right leg become light, I want us to float that right leg up into the air so that it joins your left one just for a moment. Then place your left foot down onto the mat, so that we're ready to do the same toe tap action now with our right leg, without letting your hips move. So you're still very much in the center of your pelvis. Inhale, hinge from your right hip as you take your arms back to tap the ring on the mat behind you or on the floor. And then exhale, lift them back up again. Your head just stays still. You'll be looking up to the ceiling as we do this. Inhale, then move away. Exhale, lift. 4 more and move away. Exhale, lift. 3 more. And lift. 2 more. Exhale, lift. We just have 1 more. They hinge away to tap the floor. Exhale, lift them back up again. Let's pause here. We're going to do the same thing where you vacuum pack your spine into weight. So deep abdominals are engaged. Relax your head and then float your left leg up to join your right one in the air. And we're going to stay here. So we've got all the appendages facing the ceiling and we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then place one foot on the mat, place the other foot on the mat, and then once you've got your feet on the mat, we're going to walk the feet and the knees together so that they're squeezing together. So inner thighs are super glued. Your ring is going to stay still, so your arms and your upper body stay relatively still as we do a gentle spine twist. So you're going to start to tilt your pelvis towards the right. Your left hip and your left foot will lift away from the mat as we twist because we're keeping the legs together. Go as far as you can go that your shoulder blades stay against the mat, and then come back through the center and then rock over to the other side. So we're going to tilt the pelvis over to the left. So gently twisting through your lower and mid back and keeping the legs actively squeezing together. Let's do 2 more each way. Breathing in, tilt to the right and center. Breathing in, tilt. So as you tilt to the left, you'll kind of roll onto the outer edge of your left foot and then come back through the center to flatten the feet on the mat, and 1 more time each way. Breathing into the right and center, and then breathing into the left for that last time. And exhale to bring it back through to the center. And then from there you can put the ring down onto the floor somewhere and roll over to lie on your side. So you can pick a side. We're going to be lying down on our bottom arm. You're welcome to have that arm bent, or you can see I'm using the towel like a little cushion between my arm and my head. You could do that as well, or just rest your head onto a straight arm. Everything else is in a straight line. So your body is straight, your legs are straight. You want to feel like you're in the middle of your mat. Hips are stacked. You're going to place your top hand flat down on the mat in front of your chest and check that your legs feel like they are the same length at this point. If not, if you feel like your top leg is a little bit shorter than your bottom leg, try to reach it over the bottom leg to get that equal length through your legs. So that's coming actually from the hips. So it's the hips that are going to keep your legs in line with each other. Then from there, the head is just resting against your arm or your towel. The top leg is going to become light. We're going to float the top leg up to just about hip height. So it's not going very high. And then it's going to stay there. And your bottom leg is then going to follow. So it's going to lift off the mat. It's going to lift up to meet your top leg. So you want to tap your legs together. Then lower the bottom leg back down to the mat. Then lower the top leg back down to meet the bottom leg. So your legs are kind of doing a little stagger. So the top leg lifts, then the bottom leg follows to tap the top leg. Bottom leg drops back down to the mat. Top leg drops to meet your bottom leg. Let's do 4 more. We're going to lift the top leg on an inhale. Exhale to lift the bottom leg. So that's that bottom inner thigh engaging. Then bottom leg drops again. And then you lower your top leg down to your starting position. Inhale, lift top leg. Exhale, lift the bottom leg. Lower the bottom leg. Lower the top leg. We've got 2 more. Inhale, lift top leg just to hip height. Lift the bottom leg. If you take it too high, it's going to be really hard to get the bottom leg to touch. Lower the bottom leg. Lower the top leg. And we got one more. Inhale. Oh, okay, video Sue's not doing one more, but you can do one more. Lift the top leg. And then lift the bottom leg. Lower the bottom leg. Lower the top leg. And then we'll stay in our side lying position, but we're going to bend the bottom knee so that that knee comes out in front of you slightly to about a 90-degree angle. But your bottom foot will still be underneath your top leg at this point. So the top leg is straight and kind of just resting in line with your bottom foot. Hips are still stacked one on top of the other, and I'm going to hold my top hip physically still with my hand. But if that's not comfortable, you could keep the hand on the mat in front of your chest. You want to draw navel to spine, so feel the connection of your abdominals. Let your head feel comfortable against your support, and then lift your top leg up about hip height again, so kind of where we had it previously. It's going to be a very straight leg, so my knee is straight, my ankle is nice and straight, and without the hip moving, we're going to circle that leg around. So the leg will come slightly forward and then up and around, like you were tracing that magic circle. If the magic circle was in the air, you're just tracing around the line of that circle. And let's go for 4 more, trying not to let everything else move. So your body is staying still, just your leg is circling and tracing that circle. 2 more. And 1 more in that direction, and then we're going to reverse the direction. So the leg will go slightly back behind you first, and then go up and forward around the magic circle. And back and around. 4 more. Keep your breath flowing. And 3 more. And 2 more. And your last one. Then finish by keeping your leg lifted but in line with your body. So you're one straight line running from your ankle through to your ear, and flex your ankle joint as much as you can. So you're curling your toes up, pushing your heel away from you before we finish with little pulses of that leg pushing up towards the ceiling for 6 and 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then you can lower the leg all the way down to the floor. Then I'm going to bend that knee and I'm going to bring it in slightly forward in front of the bottom leg and rest it on the mat. If it doesn't actually touch the mat here, it's fine, but if it's hurting, put a cushion or something underneath your knee so that that knee can rest where it is. Then the top arm is going to go up towards the ceiling, palm facing towards your ear, and we're going to stretch that arm up over your ear like you want to touch your hand that's resting on the mat. Then we'll lift the arm back up towards the ceiling again. Take a breath and we repeat. So you're going to take that arm up over your ear. If you are able to get your hand all the way across, you can use your bottom arm to hold onto your top wrist and actually pull the arm slightly. But that's only if you can get the arm there. Otherwise, just keep the arm straight out over your ear or as close to as possible. Hold it in your stretch for another breath. And then you can bring that arm back around down to your body, and we're going to roll over to do the other side. So you could just roll to face the other side of your room or take your legs to the other side of the mat. So we're starting with everything straight. So legs are straight, body straight, head either resting on a towel, or you could even have your bottom arm bent. If you need that arm to be bent, you can have it bent. Top hand lightly resting on the mat to keep you nicely balanced. Draw your abs in. Check in that the legs feel like they're the same length, so you've got your hips stacked on top of each other. And then we're going to lift that top leg up about hip height as you inhale. Then the bottom leg is going to follow. It's going to follow your top leg to tap it. Then the bottom leg drops back down to the mat, and your top leg follows to drop down. Top leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, engage that bottom inner thigh to lift your bottom leg. Bottom leg down, top leg down. Inhale, lift top leg. Lift the bottom leg to meet your top leg. Try to squeeze them together slightly at the top, and then that bottom leg peels back down to the mat. Top leg follows. 3 more. Lift. And bottom leg follows. Try to keep your neck relaxed, your head resting onto your arm. And down. Last 2. Top leg. Bottom leg follows. Bottom leg down. Top leg down. 1 more time. Top leg lifts. Bottom leg follows, lower the bottom leg, lower the top leg. Then we will bend our bottom leg into that 90-degree bend. Top leg is still straight. Hand is going to hold onto your hip. Your top hand is going to hold your hip to make it stay still, or to check in that it's staying as still as possible. So that's your little lie detector. And then lift your top leg up about hip height. It's very straight through the knee all the way through to the toes, like you're trying to reach your toes to the other side of the room. And then trace your invisible kind of magic circle that's suspended in the air. So the leg will go forward first and then up and around the circle. You can just let your breath flow. Try to breathe with every circle so that you know you're not holding your breath for another 4 and 3 and 2 and the last 1. Then we reverse the direction of the circle. So your leg needs to pull slightly backwards behind your body. That comes from the bum cheek, from your glute, and then lift and forward with the circle. So we go back, up, and around. Still breathing. 4 more. And around. And 3. And 2. And 1 more time. By now that glute's burning a little bit. We pause with the leg still lifted in line with your body. Then you want to flex through your ankle, reach your heel away from your head, and little pulses going up for 6 and 5 and a 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And then you can lower the leg, bend the knee to bring it forward kind of in front of your tummy, in front of your chest, so that it can rest on the mat in front of the other leg, or have a cushion that your knee can rest on if you need the cushion. And then that top arm is going to go up towards the ceiling, palm facing your ear. Stretch the arm over your head towards the other hand. Then lift that arm back up towards the ceiling so that we can repeat. Do it 1 more time. Arm goes up and over. If your hands are close enough, you can grab onto your top wrist with your bottom hand so that you can add a pull into the top arm. But that's optional. It's not compulsory. It depends where your hands are. And then let's release. And we are going to push up and around onto hands and knees. So we're going to come into 4-point kneeling. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. So set up in your 4 points, making sure you're a little bit of space between your knees. You've spread the weight out through the palms of the hands. And then tuck your toes in behind you. So you want to get both sets of toes to be tucked in behind you as much as possible. And then from there, we're going to lean the weight slightly. Well, lean is perhaps the wrong word. Keep your body where it is. Don't lean, but push down into your left knee. So I'm anchoring into the left knee, but trying to avoid moving the spine or the hips too much. As you feel the pressure push into your left knee, you'll feel the weight go into your right hand. So left knee and right hand are going to keep you balanced. Your right leg is then just going to slide back behind you so that the knee can straighten, but I'm going to keep the toes touching down onto the mat. So we've got 1 bent knee, 1 straight knee, both sets of toes touching onto the floor. And then we're going to hold that position, really push strongly through your right arm so that your left arm is free to glide forward and then up out in front of you like you're flying, like Superman with that left arm. The palm of the left hand stays facing down. You keep this shape with your body and then just sweep your left arm out to the side of the room and then backwards towards your hip, keeping the palm facing down. And then take it back out to the side and forward in line with your ear or as close to as possible. So it's kind of tracing an imaginary little line, an imaginary horizon as the arm goes back and then the arm comes forward, keeping your elbow beautifully straight. Let's do 2 more. So as the arm goes back, try to feel the back of your arm muscles engage. Bring it forward. Keep pushing into your right arm. 1 more time. Stretch the arm back and then bring the arm forward. Then you can bring that hand down onto the mat under the shoulder, bring your right knee back in underneath you, so back into 4 points, so that we do the other side. So you want to anchor now into your right knee and your left hand. Those are your anchors. Your left leg is then free to glide back behind you with the toes staying tucked in against the mat, making sure that your spine hasn't moved. So I've still got my hips facing down, I'm supporting from my tummy muscles, then glide the right hand forward and up, so you're flying with that right arm. Keep strong into the left arm because it needs to stay strong, and then the palm of the right hand is facing down as you sweep that arm around so that it reaches towards the back edge of your mat. and then sweep it over and back towards the ear. So it's like you had a little wing that's going to go around to reach towards the back edge of the mat and then forward again. And let's do 2 more, a little half circle with the arm going around. Keep the elbow nice and straight and then reverse it back to your starting position. 1 more time. Half circle around and then bring it forward again to your starting position. Then you can bring that hand back under the shoulder, bring the knee back under the hip, and untuck both sets of toes so that you can try and flatten out your shins and your ankles against the mat. And then we're ready for our cat-cow stretch. So lengthening through your spine in your neutral shape. So if I was to just flip you over onto your back, you would land in neutral. That's where we want to be. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, tuck your tail in and round through your spine. So you'll drop your gaze to look towards your thighs. As you inhale, lengthen back out, and we're going to gently arch the spine to the point that it feels like you're letting your tummy drop to the mat slightly as you lift your sitting bones and lift your gaze slightly. Not to a place that hurts though, just a comfortable arch. And then tuck the tail in and round back into your cat stretch. So we flex the spine on the cat stretch and then extend the spine on the sort of cow phase of the stretch. Let's do it 1 more time. Keep strong through your arms, pull up on your tummy muscles as you round your spine up towards the ceiling, and then lengthen out as you gently arch your back. You want to think about drawing your shoulders down away from your ears, and then you can come back through to your neutral shape of your spine. Then we're going to walk the hands backwards towards the knees. Your hips can go back slightly so that your hands can then become light and we can roll up to be on our knees. So coming up into a high kneeling position. If you need any extra support for your knees, you can maybe put like a towel underneath your knees or something to make it a little bit softer. Your knees shouldn't take any strain. We're going to step the left foot forward into a little kneeling lunge position. So if you want to use your hands to help you get your foot there, you're welcome to do that. The foot is going to be directly out underneath your knee. And then from there, we're going to keep, no, we're not going to keep our hands on our thigh. We're going to take our arms out to the sides of the room. So they're going to reach out, palms facing down. So you've just got these 2 straight arms, like a straight line from one hand to the other. And then in your kneeling lunge position, think about tucking your tailbone in a little bit. So the tuck in of the tailbone is maybe already going to give you a little bit of a hip flexor stretch in your right hip. And then we stay here and just keep your balance as you lift your left heel off the mat. And then place your heel back down on the mat. So just a little heel raise with that left leg. Lift and tap. Trying to keep the feeling of your tailbone being tucked in. We go for 4 more. Tap and 3. Tap and 2. And 1. Then lower that heel back down into the mat, so you've got your left foot flat down, and start to twist your spine towards the left-hand side of the room. So your arms will go with you as you twist. Once we're in the twist, you can drop your right arm so that your right hand can hold onto the outside of your left thigh or your left knee, wherever you can grab. That hand is going to help you hold your twist. And then the other arm, you're going to bend that elbow and bring the hand in just behind your ear. So your elbow is out to the side of the room. And then try to deepen the twist a little bit more. Pull through the right arm for that twist. Then keep your arms in this position, but come to face forward again. So your right hand might have to slide a little bit to allow you to face forward, and then we go again. You're going to twist, opening out towards the left-hand side of the room, gripping your right hand into your thigh to help you twist a little bit more. And then exhale to face forward again. And we go again. Oh no, we don't go again. That was it. Just 2 of those. And then we're going to do the other side. So you're going to step your left knee back, and bring your right foot forward so that we can do the other side. So we're going to tuck the tailbone in as we did before. Then you're going to take your arms, hands lightly behind your ears for this one. So we're immediately going into the little elbow bend position. Let your shoulders relax, keep the tuck of the tailbone, and then we're going to lift the heel off the floor and lower the heel back down. And lift and tap. Let's do 4 more. Lift and tap. 3 more. Lift, Last two. And the last one. And then you can lower your heel back down towards the mat. Keep your heel flat on the mat. Keep your balance. Twist towards the right-hand side of the room this time. And then lower your left arm down so that that hand can grab onto the outside of your thigh and help you twist a little bit more. Then you come to face forward again. Your left hand can slide a little bit to make sure that you can accommodate that coming forward. And then inhale, twist again, pull slightly through the left arm. Exhale to face forward. And let's do it one more time. Inhale as you twist. And then exhale as you come to face forward again. And then from there, we're going to step your leg back again so that we can come back onto both knees and grab your ring. We are going to stay on the knees, but you don't have to be on your knees for this one. If you want to stand instead, if your knees are getting a bit tired, you could stand. Because we're actually focusing mostly on the arms. So I'm going to take my arms out in front of me, holding onto the ring. And then we'll bend the elbows to about 90, and my elbows are bending out to the side. So they're not drooping down to the floor, they bend out to the side. And then curl your fingers around the handles of the ring so that you've got some grip with your hands. Think about letting your shoulders relax down, and your shoulders will stay there. Imagine you had two little parrots resting on your shoulders. They stay in place as you take a breath. And on the exhale, you just start to squeeze into the ring from your chest and from your biceps. We squeeze and then release that squeeze. Exhale, squeeze and release. 6 more, squeeze and release. 5 more, squeeze and release. Equal pressure through both of those arms as you squeeze. Make sure you're not just using your dominant arm. Last 3 and 2. Breathe. Exhale as you squeeze. And last 1. Then release the squeeze, stay as you are, and turn your head to look over one shoulder. So your little neck stretch one way. Then turn your head to look over the other shoulder, getting a little neck stretch the other way, just to check that your neck is relaxed. And then you can gaze forward again. Then straighten your arms out in front of you completely, straightening those fingertips as well. And then just have a soft bend in your elbow. So really it's just like a centimeter or half a centimeter of bend. Enough that you know you're not locking your elbow joint, but we are trying to keep the arms as straight as possible so that you don't use your biceps for this next one. Same thing, shoulders relaxed, breathe in, and then start to squeeze into the ring. The ring is not going to move as much in this position, that's okay. Exhale, squeeze, and release. 6 more, squeeze, release, and 5, release, and 4, release, and 3, release, last 2, release, and 1, release. And then turn your head to look over one shoulder. Again, we're just going to relax that neck to twist one way and then twist to look towards the other shoulder and then face forward. And then the last one with the ring, we're going to take the ring around behind you. Whether you're standing or kneeling, you can do the same thing. I've got that ring kind of framing my bum a little bit here, and I've got the hands facing down. So my fingers are facing down with the palms of my hands on the handles of the ring. Elbows can start by being bent just so that you can get your hands nice and comfortable. Then try and straighten out your elbows a little bit more. They don't have to straighten completely, but we want to try to extend the arms with the ring behind you here. So this one is the hardest one. So the ring might not even move, that's okay. Pull your tummy muscles in, relax your shoulders. Breathe in, and then try to squeeze into the ring. And release. Maybe you do get a bit of a squeeze, and squeeze. And release. And we're just going to do 4 more here. Squeeze and release. Exhale for 3 and release. And 2. Release. Last 1. Squeeze. Release the squeeze. And then let's do 1 more time with that head turning to look towards one shoulder. Head turning to look towards the other shoulder. And then you can put the ring down to one side as we lower ourselves down to come and lie down on our tummies to finish. So you can slide your legs back behind you. Lying on your tummy, we're going to take our legs out a little bit wider than our hips and have your arms in a nice wide goalpost position. So my knees are nice, or my legs are nice and wide, almost to the edges of the mat here. Turn your knees to face outwards slightly so you feel like you've kind of opened up your hips. We want to go a little bit of external rotation there in your legs. Nice wide position with the arms, 90-degree bend in your elbow joints. Draw your tummy muscles in and up first. You want to feel like you're kind of anchoring your hip bones against the mat. My nose is just hovering off the mat, so I'm still looking straight down at the floor. And then super glue your hands into the floor. So those hands are suctioned into the floor. As we start to lengthen through the spine, you're going to inhale for your head and chest to start to float away from the mat, and then grip your hands, which are already stuck to the floor, into the mat or the floor, and imagine that you're trying to pull your chest forward and through your arms. So there's a feeling of pull and tension through the arms and the upper back. And then relax back down again, your nose almost touching the mat. Inhale, it's like a little wave through your upper back, and then that feeling of trying to pull yourself forward and through. Draw your shoulder blades down. Exhale, we release back down. Let's do 3 more, breathing in as you lift and grip through the arms. Exhale to lengthen and relax back down to the floor. 2 more, lift and lengthen. Exhale down to the floor. 1 more time, gripping through those arms. Pull the chest forward and through. And then relax back down towards the floor. And then from there, you just hold it. You're looking down at the mat. I want the arms to start to feel light. See if you can hover the arms just up off the floor, or just getting them to feel light against the floor might be enough, so that you feel your shoulders and upper back engage. And we hold it there for 3, 2, and 1. Then you can lower your arms down towards the floor, and we're going to take our arms out into a T position from here. So you're going to stretch your arms out on either side, palms facing down, so you're a straight line from one hand to the other. If you have any obstructions in the way, just move them out the way to give yourself some space. We're going to keep the head just hovering off the mat, looking down at your mat, and then just your left arm, so we're doing one arm at a time, just your left arm is going to float just up off the floor, and then that left arm comes down, and then the right arm is going to float up off the floor. So as the right one comes down, the left one starts to lift. So there's almost a moment where both arms are hovering as you do the switch. And we go one arm and then the other. Keep your breath flowing. Let's do 2 more each side. One arm and then the other. And then your last one each side. One arm and then the other. Then both arms back down to the floor. And then slide them lower down so that they come into a low V position. So they're still off the edges of the mat. I want the elbows to be straight and the palms facing down towards the floor. And this is going to be a nice position for you to really feel that you can open your chest. So roll your shoulders back and down for the grand finale of back extension. You're going to do the same thing where you feel as though you're lengthening your spine for your head, chest and your arms to float just up off the floor. They don't have to lift high. The legs stay down, however, they don't lift. And then exhale to lower back down again like you want to kiss the mat. Your arms come down. Inhale, we're going to go for 4 more. Lift with the arms. Exhale to rest down. 3 more. Keep those elbows nice and straight. Keep that feeling of opening up through your chest. And down. And the last 2, breathing in, floating up with your arms. Exhale down, and your last one, inhale, floating up with the arms. And exhale to come all the way back down. And then from there, you can bend your elbows, bring your hands in underneath your forehead so that you can be looking down at your hands as you walk your feet in to about hip width apart. So I'm not keeping them out to the edges of the mat anymore. I'm bringing them in slightly. You want to have your legs parallel to one another. So now the focus will be more on the legs. You can rest your head all the way down on your hands or have your head slightly lifted off your hands, depending how your neck and your upper body is feeling here. The focus is on the legs, like I said. So you can pull the tummy muscles up again. So I'm thinking about trying to pull my belly button off the mat, like there's a little ice cube underneath your belly button. Those legs that are still parallel are just going to straighten as much as they can, and then you're going to try and float straight legs just up off the mat. So you need to squeeze your glutes to float your legs off the floor. I'm trying to hover those knees just up off the floor. They're still straight, but they're hovering. And then keep the hover as if your mat was really hot underneath your legs and you're trying to keep them lifted away. But you're going to bend your right knee to 90. So just that one knee bends to 90. The foot will face towards the ceiling. And then straighten out the right knee and bend the left knee. But I'm keeping those legs floating. The mat is still hot. So you bend one and then you switch. Keep the breath flowing. Bending one and then you switch. Let's do 3 more each leg. 1 and switch. 2 more. 1 and switch. Last time. 1 and switch. Then straighten both the legs out again and lower them all the way back down towards your mat. And then from there you can slide your hands in underneath your shoulders and push yourself up to go back into your rest position. So open the knees out a little wider than the hips. Send those hips back towards your feet. You can fold your arms, rest your head on your arms, or stretch your arms out in front of you, rest your head on the mat, if you can get your head to the mat. If it's not comfortable on the mat though, keep those arms under your forehead so that you have something to rest against, because as the name suggests, rest position is about resting, so it should feel comfortable. Hold it here for 2 deep breaths. This is your recovery position for your back. And then after that last breath, we're going to curl forward again to come back onto your hands and your knees to finish. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, toes are going to tuck in. I'm spreading the weight through the palms of the hands. If you would like to do this on fists instead, if your wrists don't like a lot of pressure, you could be on fists or put something soft underneath your wrists like a towel, so that we can keep this position. Your back is going to be straight, and that includes your neck. So your eyes should be looking just above your hands on the mat. You don't want to drop your head and hang onto your neck. Lift your tummy muscles. So again, imagine that little ice block on your belly button. You want to pull your belly button in and up so that we can push firmly through those arms and toes and hover your knees just up off the mat. So it's like a little tiny plank, a hovering plank. We're going to hover the knees and hold and breathe for 5. 4, if you do need to come down though, come down. We're staying for another 3, 2, and last 1, then you can lower your knees down towards the floor. And we're going to step 1 foot forward to come back into our kneeling lunge. Doesn't matter which foot. Back toes are going to stay tucked. Hands come onto the thigh in front of you so that you can push into that front leg to lift yourself up to standing. And then we are all done. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for joining. And I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed the session.